It's fight week. Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell. Why is this fight happening? No one knows. Austin McBroom continues the absolute shit show that is Social Gloves in the second installment when he takes on a Nissan Gib. And today, we're going to break down the matchup that I'm most excited for personally. Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell, some legends in the game of football. Adrian Peterson, one of the greatest running backs of all time. Le'Veon Bell, super great as well. I'm very excited for it, but yeah, I'm not qualified to break down football, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. Today, we're just going to talk about and analyze some new footage from both Adrian Peterson and Le'Veon Bell. Let's go. So this is the first bit of footage I would like to take a look at. Now, I have not seen this yet. This will be my first reaction. We're going to do it just a quick walkthrough live. Supposedly, this is where he gets a KO. Yeah, I just decided we'll check the IG real quick. Because that's what I saw on YouTube, a little thumbnail. So yeah, we're just
good.
Ooh,
Breathe.
Okay.
Yep. And relax.
Balance on the way back.
He gonna move your feet. Good. Good. Oh!
Okay.
Shit. Wait up. Hold up.
So I
Hold up.
truly trying to help him up. What, bro? Oh man. Okay. So there's a couple things I might have noticed here. Okay. So to start with the stance, here's pretty good. But there was a point at the stance. Right here, though, is pretty sloppy. The replacing isn't great. However, a big part of this influencer boxing is the actual setups guys use. Because not always are the techniques the best thing. Obviously, the techniques aren't going to be great. But a lot of times, the setups are the big critical part. So he fires that 1-2. And that 1-2 is pretty solid, except he led with his head into the combination.
Breathe.
And then here, he just ducks down as he throws this jab, which will leave him open for a left hook coming off the jab if someone slips to the outside of the jab. But here, he's on the inside of the jab, so this left hook is still kind of there, but he's probably going to just jab, it looks like. But here is a point where I'd like to highlight Adrian Peterson was a bit off balance here after this exchange. He got knocked off balance just a little bit because of the way he jabbed in like this, with the head down, just almost looking away. You never want to do that. I do believe it's not a super massive hole, especially in influencer boxing, but it's something that we can take note of and remember, because he did kind of just duck down, and because of that, the balance starts to go and we gets hit with a shot. It wasn't like he was hurt, the equilibrium was off or anything. It was just kind of didn't have his footwork right.
Relax.
But here, I like the exaggerated head movement out of range in YouTube boxing. We saw Slim do it in his last fights, or in influencer boxing. It's something that's a pretty solid way to get on the inside of opponents, especially. I don't know if I'm assuming Adrian Peterson's going to be a bit littler. They'll probably be about the same size. I don't know. I don't really remember. But one thing that I see a lot of I saw Slim do, and I think a lot of influencers should take this into. To think about it, is this exaggerated head movement from out of range will really easily help you cover distance and get inside. You gain so much room getting inside. Adrian Peterson, he doesn't do it here, but so here's this. So here's the shot. So there's that. So there's the 3-2, and this is a part of the guard that I don't love to see from Adrian Peterson. The way the weight's moving back and all on this back foot, I don't love to see it. He's a little too square here too. He's not as bladed as I'd like to see him. And by bladed, I mean, so this would be a square stance. If fighting you, this would be a square stance. This is more bladed, boxer, right? And Adrian Peterson kind of gets caught in this more squared up stance. And he blocks he's, we'll call this answering the telephone for a hook, right? You'll bring it back to catch it on this side, all right? That's what he looks like he's doing here, even though it's a right straight. So it gets to the guard just a little bit. But I can't really tell from this angle. It might have been a little a looping right, and he might have done the right thing, because if it's a looping right, you go here and you can kind of bring your hand up and you get out of it. But here's this blitzing 1-2 combo, wombo, boom, right through the guard. That's a really nice shot. See, at first I thought he hit him with the guard, and now one thing, this guy was already, look at the heel here, he's moving back. The way Adrian Peterson blitzes in here, and he hurt him.
Wait
That's a really legitimate shot from Adrian Peterson. It's not something super high level, obviously, but that was pretty solid. And with the footage we've seen on Le'Veon Bell, honestly, Adrian Peterson, in my eyes, is probably the favorite in this matchup. but we're gonna look at some other footage that I haven't seen yet from good old Le'Veon. And here's some recent footage put out by LB. I'm assuming this is like some KO footage of a spar dropping this guy. So yeah, we're just gonna look at it, see what he does to this guy, or what it is. Yeah, I had to mute it though, cause good old Drake. But yeah, let's just jump in here. Hey, whoa, this guy's okay. Good job getting out of the way of that, right? That was really sloppy though. These guys are not great that he's sparring. Going up against the southpaw though, takes this inside lane instead of the outside. I'd like to see him be on the outside here because that'll be able to help create angles, corral him around. Instead, he's going to be corralled around and worked around, but gets out of range. He's very low leaning there. Again, that actually is pretty nice. Some overextension on that right, and he's leaning low a lot. And see, he gets caught. He just got caught a second ago because of the way he's leaning. Fires that uppercut from that. But he's leaning, he's over-exaggerating these slips a lot from what it looks like. I mean, like, he's putting himself in positions just like this, where he's in this position with his opponent. When you're up against Adrian Peterson or anyone inexperienced, they'll fire this right hand around down low, and it could hit you in the back of the head. And since you're leaning like that, depending on the referee, they'll usually get away with it. It depends. It's hard, like, depending on where on the back of the head it lands. If it's just behind the ear, it'll be illegal. But if it's, like, blatant on the back of the head, usually it'll be illegal. But this will put him in positions to get hit by shots that are illegal, but since he puts himself here, they kind of become legal depending on the judge, or the referee, rather. And also, you see this left hand here. He's going to be able to, you know, put his hand on the neck of Adrian Peterson and just be able to maneuver around, hold him here a little bit, hold him here to hold him down with this left hand, fire uppercuts, and just really just like drag him around. And it's not something I love to see, the way he's ducking down here. And look, looks like the head movement is something he's really focused on in this footage. But see there, man, just lots of sloppy stuff. That was a pretty bad right hand going back. Does a decent job floating out of range. Nice jab there, actually. Pretty telegraphed right hand to the body. That's a nice right hand to the body, and I don't love to see the way he pulls away from it. I'd like to see a replacement here and this left hand staying here, because if this guy's any good, he'll blitz in and, you know, land some shots. But clean transition there. So there's that right hook to the body. He's very leaning off to one side, and look how low he's getting here. There's no point in this. This guy's swinging pretty low, but there's no point in this, man, because this uppercut's going to be here. This left hook, this shovel left hook on the outside, as Le'Veon sways into it, is here. There's that jab, there's that too, and look here. Look what he leaves himself open to. He's barely getting out of the way, but in the fight on fight night, trust me, he's very off balance in this footage, and he'll lean like this, and he will get hit by something little from Adrian Peterson. And we saw from that last clip, it looks like Adrian Peterson has a decent bit of power to him, but even if he lands with a little bit, he's so off balance, he'll go back and get an 8 count, he'll get an 8 count or a 10 count, right? So when he's moving like this, he's just leaning into a lot of shots that he could be leaning into a lot of shots. So the head movement is very exaggerated from good old LB, but he's getting out of the way a lot of shots. But just there, man, that's so bad, eh? Like, looks like he's turning over on a lot of his shots. This looping left hook from out of range lands, though. Doesn't look like there's much of a pivot on this lead leg. I'd like to see a little bit more pivot, turnover with this, so being up a little bit more on the toes and just turning just barely in. That's a nice left hook, though. Nice counter left. Boom. Okay, so there's that pull. There was a pull counter right hand, and that actually looked pretty solid. He left the head open pretty much the whole time, but he felt pretty safe there. He was able to show why he was safe. So there's that right, and then yeah. Wondering, yeah, okay, so that's it. Okay, there's just this over-exaggerated head movement from Le'Veon. That's a big thing that we could take away from this footage. Just tons of over-exaggerated and a lot of over-exaggerated movements that really could get him caught come fight night, come Saturday. So overall verdict from this, I have Adrian Peterson as the favorite due to a couple things. There's not as much footage on him as there is on Le'Veon Bell out there. Something that one guy will be able to use to his advantage, the other won't. But another thing is the over-exaggerated movement and overall just kind of just like overzealous, over-exaggerated, sloppy head movement that Le'Veon Bell shows. Not that he's not making people miss, not that he's not making these guys miss, but if both these guys are training full-time for about a 6-month period, I'm taking Adrian Peterson. Looks like he has a bit more power, and yeah, the balance is something both these guys don't seem to have down in their stances, but Le'Veon Bell really doesn't have the balance down. So yeah, the way I'm looking at this fight, the way I think it's going to play out, I think it's going to be a pretty slow opening round. We're going to have stop, go, stop, go for like the first couple rounds, and they'll maybe get in the groove and actually get a little fight, because these guys are coming from football. It's stop, go. It's not stop, go, slip, go. Like, I know that probably sounds stupid, but it's true. Boxing is so much different, just the tempo, the pace that boxing is compared to, football. I'm interested to see how they can adapt to that. They're likely going to get pretty tired, pretty gassed by 1 or 2 rounds. That's just the nature of these NFL players that come over to boxing. But yeah, let me know what you guys think on this breakdown, this analysis of both guys. Right now I'm taking Adrian Peterson to win this one, either by a TKO or a decision. I think TKO is pretty likely just from the fact that Le'Veon Bell seems to have little to no balance, and I think he'll probably lean into a shot. However, the that slip to the uppercut that Le'Veon Bell put out a couple times, that's going to be his best weapon against Adrian Peterson, and his pull counter was not terrible. So things to look out for, but I still got AP over LB. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And yeah, peace.